On our agenda is the invocation, Mr. Presiding Officer. I will lead the invocation. Those who are Catholics in the room, you may now make the sign of the cross in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Altogether, let us pray the Lord's Prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please put your right hand above your heart as we sing the Philippine National Anthem.
Yutang tamuno, mutya na masilakon, putlimbahan din, pamukang di mahal. Hindi simba, yutas mga bayani, sa manubigon, pagkadatigan ka, ang mga buntod mo, lapyahan, ang langit mong makaw, nagahulad sa awit landay sa kaliwat ang gawas, silaw sa adlaw, bituon sa nasudnong Manila, nagatibaan nga buhion ka, ang atong pagkausap, yutang maanyang duyan ka sa pagmahal, landong sa langit ang tunghan mo. Pagkat ang piso na bukod maulibon ka, ang namatayon sa ngalan mo.
All please take your seats.
The Secretary will now report on whether or not we have a quorum.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And for that purpose, she is ordered to call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councilor Raul Alcosaba. Thank you. Councilor Nestor Archival Sr. Thank you. Councilor Tony Cuenco is here. Councilor Alvin Dizon. Councilor Eugenio Gabuya Jr. Thank you. Councilor Raymond Alvin Garcia. Thank you. Councilor Joel Garganera. It's online.
Present.
Thank you. Councilor Jerry Guardo. Councilor Donaldo Ontiveros.
Tungwe.
Councilor Leia Hapson. Councilor Prisca Nina Mabatid. Councilor Franklin Ong.
Present.
Councilor Renato Osmeño Jr. Councilor Eduardo Rama Jr. Councilor Jessica Rash. Councilor David Tumulak. Councilor Joy Augustus Young. Councilor Philip Zafra. Mr. Chairman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will ask the pleasure of the body how to do the counting for the quorum. So there are 12 who are physically present, 12 members who are present here at the Doña Eva Macaraig Macapagal Session Hall, 12, and we have 3 members who are also online via the Zoom platform.
The Secretary is requested to explain to everybody here, who are actually and physically present, as to why some of our colleagues are not here and are considered to be present because of the technology that we are having, the Zoom technology or something. Did we agree on this? Did we have an agreement on this? The majority floor leader may be able to explain why there are some who are here and others are not here.
Mr. Chairman, may hapon sa atong mga kauban. Yes, Mr. Chairman, actually, this afternoon session is hybrid. which means that there will be physical as well as online representations or representatives in this session. So whether they are online or physically present, they will be counted as in counting the numbers of the quorum. So as of now, we have 15 members who are present, which will constitute a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
So in view of the
Mr. Chairman.
presentation made by the majority leader, the chair therefore
Mr. Chairman.
declares the
Mr. Chairman.
presence of a quorum.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, there is
Chairman.
a query coming from Councilor Councilor Archival.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I don't think this is correct. Because last session, when we have that session, we agreed that everybody should be here. And with all due respect to the members who are not here, who are our friends, I don't think this is the thing that we have agreed. If that is the case, we could have been in our house, all of us. But the agreement last week, Mr. Chairman, is that it should be a physical attendance. And we cannot just change the rule. The other thing is that in our house rules, there is no hybrid actually.
All right, the minority law leader has made a comment and his observation regarding the situation now. Is there any other member of the council who wants to add to that? Yes, the lady from the north.
Yes, I understand, Mr. Chairman, the last time we have like this hybrid, but it did not push through because as Member Garcia commented that the House rule, we did not amend the House rule, Mr. Chairman. So if sabot na to last week, Wednesday and Friday session, it should be physical. So it's not hybrid. So if physical, and then if online punta. So since naami din it's because of that agreement, Wednesday and Friday physical session. So that's why we're here, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any other comment from any member of the council regarding the point raised by Councilor Archival? Yes, Councilor Joey Young is recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Just the same thing, ako lang opinion ba nga, we all took the trouble to come here. In fact, si Member Gabuya, ito sa maari na, he changed his mind, i-ari siya. So, ako mo ko problema, ato ubang kauban, mag-zoom lang, but this should not be part of the quorum. Anyway, wa man na special budget man wala man tayo voting tingnan ron. Kung siya problema niya, we still have to change the House rules. Personally, Mr. Chairman, malibog ko kay libog ko sa situation which we have tried already before. Uban na, uban wa, bitaw, libog kayo. So I think we should decide on that one, online tanan or presence batatanan. And that's my opinion, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
The chair declares that in view of the observations delivered by some members of the council, more specifically in the minority sector, the chair declares a recess. Session is suspended.
Remote.
consistent that because two sessions, it was also like 10 weeks. And we counted everybody. This is also correct na.
nga full coverage sila. Sabi nila preside.
Huwag ka na mute, Joel. Huwag ka na mute.
The session is resumed. Will the members of the council, the councillor, the honorable councillors, please go back to their respective seats. In the meantime, the chair would like to request our colleagues who are not here and who are online to please come if possible, no? Come here. But we must proceed to discuss the budget. This is a very important piece of legislation. It's the most important piece of legislation. And time is running out. Some of these items in the budget, will save a lot of lives. So many lives are at stake, and they are depending on us to act on this. So the session is resumed. The majority floor leader has the floor. What is his pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, let's just continue with the agenda. Anyway, it's just a presentation of the supplemental budget 3. We may or may not have to approve this today, but what's important is the local finance committee as well as the other departments will be able to speak and will shed light on the expenses of the previous budget as well as the expenditures of this SB3. That being said, Mr. Chairman, I think we can call on, we should be calling on MCW Chairman Joey Daluz, who should be presenting. He has already presented last meeting. For continuation, questions should be propounded on him, but I don't see him this afternoon. So perhaps we can move to another item. I see Ma'am Mayet Gumia, who can present on the sources of funds of the SB3. Then we can go to Chairman Daluz when he arrives, perhaps later. So, Mr. Chairman, can we call on Ma'am Mayet
Mr. Chairman.
to shed light on the sources of funds?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, the minority leaders.
Yeah, I think we can proceed. However, we need to clarify about the quorum. How many are we? So that, there would be some resolutions that will be coming in. And we don't really know if there would be division of the House. So beforehand, I think it's a good idea that we should know what is the quorum number.
The
You
chair
can always proceed, but
the chair would like to say that we are facing an emergency. So the special session is an emergency session, and some of our colleagues cannot make it, and because of the situation that we're facing right now, they have to stay home for one reason or another, and so they're using the technical facilities that we agreed on, the Zoom thing. Now, the lack of agreement on this matter has already been resolved during the recess. I would like to thank the members of the opposition who have expressed a desire to continue with the proceedings, despite the fact that some members are not physically present, but they are actually present at home and can participate in all the deliberations that we're going to have today. So the majority floor leader will sponsor the resolution
No,
regarding the budget.
Mr. Chairman, I don't
Supplemental
think-
budget number 3. That's the first item in the agenda.
Mr. Chairman.
Approval of the resolution containing the proposed
Mr. Chair.
supplemental budget
Mr.
number
Chair.
3.
Mr. Chair, move for 1 minute recess, Mr. Chair. 1 minute recess, Mr. Chair.
Yes, the gentleman from the south.
Yeah, I am requesting for a 1 minute recess, Mr. Chairman, so that the majority leader and the minority leader will talk to each other, Mr. Chairman, to resolve this issue. Kaya kanina, Mr. Chairman, it is only the members, not the minority floor leader. That's why I'm asking for a 1 minute recess for them to talk and resolve the issue, Mr. Chairman.
What is the pleasure of the body? Shall we declare recess and talk again?
Recess, Mr. Chairman.
It's over
Thank you,
again
Mr. Chair.
between the majority and the
Recess,
minority
Mr.
floor
Chairman.
leaders. Then
And-
the chair declares a recess. Session is suspended.
Iyan, mabuti hapon. Ani, kami.
The session is resumed. The majority floor leader has the floor.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Sponsor further
So,
the
we have agreed, Mr.
proposed
Chairman, to,
budget.
we have agreed, Mr. Chairman, to proceed with our session, and we will discuss the expenses incurred on the SB2 as well as the other accounts of the disaster. And then we will also discuss SB3, its sources, and the object of expenditures. And then we have resource speakers who will speak this afternoon in the person of our back chairman, Attorney Maratas, and then of course our budget officer is also here, Mamayat Gumiya, and then we are also calling on our city treasurer, Monina Paires, and then in a while, former councilor and now MCWD chairman Joey Daluz will continue with his presentation because we were not able to question him last meeting. Of course, he will also be bringing some of the engineers who were involved in the project, Mr. Chairman. So without further ado, Mr. Chairman, since we are now going to discuss on items 1 and 2, may we call on our first resource speaker. And just also on our agreement with the minority floor leader, anybody, whether online or physically present, can participate in this particular session for the afternoon. So that being said, Mr. Chairman, can we call on Mamayat Gumiya for the sources of funds?
All right, we will now proceed to discuss the budget after the same has been sponsored by the proponents and I understand there are resource persons who are here and are willing and ready to answer any questions
Mr. Chairman,
coming from all members of the council.
Mr. Chairman, Councilor Franklin, can you go ahead with
What is the name? What is the name of the
Mr. Chair.
what's the name of the person appearing before us? And what is her office?
Oh, that's our budget officer. Yeah.
All right.
But Mr. Chair,
All right. Who wants to ask questions from her?
No, before we go into that,
gentleman from the north, the ABC president.
Oh, si Joey.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to inform the body, this August body, that I remember during the last session, not the last session, but last week when we had the special session, also when we tackled about this SB3, we were still in the utilization report of the 1.6 billion, the 1 billion that was SB2, and then also the other budget of 625 million, Mr. Chair. I think we have not finished that. I don't know if it is proper if we will go directly to the sources of fund without first finishing the unfinished business that we have tackled last week, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, a point has been raised by Councilor Ong. Is there any reply from the majority?
Yeah, it's really a matter of who will go first or not. The reason why I mentioned Mamayat Gumiya is because when we discuss, I wanted if we were to take off from the previous session, it should have been Joey Daluz who should be here. And then maybe because since we're talking about the previous budget, then Attorney Maratas. So it really doesn't matter to me who will go first, Mr. Chairman. If the body prefers Attorney Maratas to go ahead, then it's okay. So Attorney Maratas, can you so we'll just call on Attorney Maratas, Mr. Chairman, our back chairman,
and explain the budget proposal in detail. And who is the member, which member of the House of the Council is going to ask questions from the gentleman?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, the minority leader has the floor.
Good afternoon, Attorney Jeron. Maratas, I'm sorry.
Attorney June Maratas.
Attorney June. Last week, you have a summary of expenses for COVID-19. And the total amount allocation is 1.6256 So 1.6 billion. Now, considering that we need to have another budget, meaning to say you have a 3.3 billion that we want to have a supplemental budget, which is actually, well, we should understand that it should be urgent and necessary. You know already the listing. Tell the council how much is the total PO that you have already extended, because the way I see it, either in public funds or either private funds, it should be that the PO is the basis of our disbursement. So what is the total amount of which the city has already allotted for that PO?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon to the members of this August body. For the supplemental budget 2, which totals 1 billion pesos, we have issued 71 purchase orders for this one, and the total cost is 619,474,270 pesos. While for the lump sum appropriation, we have issued 6 POs or purchase order, the total of which is 80,902,050 pesos. While for the trust fund, we have issued 4 purchase orders, the total of which is 86,363,884 pesos and 85 centavos.
The total amount.
Yes, yes.
The total amount.
The total amount would be the total of the 3.
Yes, how much? What's the total?
$786,740,204 pesos, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, it is very clear that we have money which is not purchased, is being used at about 800,000 pesos, 800 million pesos. So, I think the 800 million could be used as a source of fund because it's not being used. And it's very clear in the summary, Attorney June, that basically it's there. Most of the things that we're supposed to give and buy, it's there already, it's being bought. Like, if you're going to look at the 114 million for the NRA, we have already spent 59, so it's finished. So we have a savings actually. So what I'm trying to say to the council and probably to the budget officer and to the treasurer, that we have at 800 million surplus. The other thing that we want to know, Mr. Chairman, is that from the previous sessions that we have, there was a mention from Councilor Raymond that we have purchased 2 PCR machines. Why is it that you have only 1?
Actually, we purchased 3, Mr. Chairman.
Huh?
3 PCR machines.
3 PCR machines, but
Yes.
why is it in our notes we have only 1?
We purchased 3 PCR machines, Mr. Chairman.
Can you look at your expenditure summary which you have given to us, Attorney June? Page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Page 8.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, can I have a follow-up question?
The resource person is requested to respond to the questions raised by the
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
minority leader.
Actually, just for...
Is he ready to respond?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I will respond. Just for clarification, I wasn't the one who prepared the report, Mr. Chairman. I decided to the report regarding this. It will only accept as the outlet, Mr. Chairman.
But I'm confused. We have one department executive, but you have two different reports. One report is wrong, and probably the other report is correct. And where is that report, Attorney June?
I don't have a copy of that report, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, the signatory here is Attorney Jerome Ornopia, Marietta Gomia, and supposed to be si Juanita Monina Aires. So these are the city treasurer, the city budget office, and the city accountant.
Yes, I'm not a signatory to that report, Mr. Chairman.
So meaning to say you have another report that you are going to share with us.
I have your copy of the POs that we have issued.
But what we need is the things that the city executive gave us. So where should we start? What are we going to do with
My basis, Mr. Chairman, is the PO here.
the PO?
This is the PO that we issued, and it's for 3 PCR machines. It's not for one.
Mr. Chairman, perhaps what the maybe is it possible that the accounting office will just book it as one account and lump it together in one account? That's why I'm also looking at the same thing. It's 18 million, and the number of units is 1.
Actually,
So maybe this is lumped in one account. I don't know. Can you explain to that?
Yes, I would like to explain, Mr. Chairman. It says here, 1 lot PCR machine package. And the items here, 2 units applied biosystems, 7,500 real-time PCR system, brand new. That's 2 units. Then there's another unit, 1 unit applied biosystems, 7,500 real-time PCR system machine, which is used. So these are the 3 PCR machines, Mr. Chairman. There are still other items under this lot.
3. Can you read the other items?
Yes. The other items are Genolution DNA RNA extractor kit. Quantity is 236. Swab test kits. Quantity is 30,400.
Excuse me, Attorney June. Is this the same PO? Are you actually looking at PO 214?
Yes.
It's the same PO?
Yes, in the amount
So-
of 18,073,784 pesos and 85 centavos.
But I think you have a generic expenditure summary.
Yes.
I would really recommend and request that when you give reports to us, it should be something that everybody should understand. Because the way you have reported this, actually in your side, but you're saying that you're not part of it. But this is supposed to be a real report that supposed to be a clear one. So kung dili man ni mangutana ani, usari gyud ni gibutang.
I think the report states PCR package machine, Mr. Chairman. Because the items here, there are lots of items and we can't put it in one line.
Mr.
Practically
Chair,
one page.
Mr. Chair,
Is the minority leader through? Is he done with his queries? If so, then the chair will now recognize.
thank you, Mr. Chair.
Has to be recognized as, yes, the gentleman from Coconbado is.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, Mr. Chair, I am really perusing all my documents here, Mr. Chairman, but I really cannot find figures mentioned by the resource speaker and our minority floor leader. Can we be provided of this of this attachment, Mr. Chairman. Wa gyud ko kibaw na ata ni wa di gyud ako makita dire.
Mr. Chairman, I think what they have, Mr. Chairman, are summaries of the purchases, Mr. Chairman. But as to the details, because there are some POs, Mr. Chairman, that consist 3 pages, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Person can answer that question.
No, Mr. Chairman, if the presiding officer has its own copy also, Mr. Chairman, I don't think you have the copy also, right?
He's requesting for a copy.
I think the chairman doesn't have a copy because actually nobody asked us a copy from the back. Hindi, summary na siya.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we can provide a copy of this, Mr. Chairman, but I just came here with our copies because
Just provide us, Mr. Chairman, so that we can follow during the discussion, Mr. Chairman. Kay out of kuan man may wa gyud may kopya. Mr. Majority Floor Leader, can we be provided?
The floor leader is recognized. In the meantime, before the floor leader is recognized,
Okay, Mr. Chairman,
out of the fact that Councilor Franklin Ong wants to be heard also on this particular matter.
Mr. Chairman, can I
He's
just comment?
recognized.
Mr. Chairman, can I just comment? Mr. Chairman, can I
Yes,
just
the
comment?
majority leader.
Okay, I think when the local finance committee reports to us on their expenses, they will just put the PO number and then the amount that was actually spent. They don't go anymore to the details. So, with what member Archibald and Gabuya is saying is that they want also to see the details. So perhaps we can request the accounting office or the bids and awards committee that for this particular PO number 214, can you furnish a copy of the details of this PO to all members of this August body? Is that possible, Attorney Maratas?
Oh, answer.
yes, we will do it, Mr. Chairman.
Hatagan may kopya. Gikan sa accounting office. Doon na ka may kopya.
So that we can already move on to the next person who will question, which is Councilor Franklin Ong.
Yes, Councilor Franklin Ong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to ask Attorney Maratas, who negotiated the purchase of this PCR? I don't know what you call this PCR machine and the whole set, Attorney Maratas, Mr. Chair. Who negotiated for the purchase of this one?
Mr. Chair, there are meetings that happen at the command center, and sometimes these several like doctors are present there. Then I was also there, and that's the time that I was told that we are going to purchase this particular PCR machine.
These underwent a bidding or negotiated purchase, Mr. Chair?
Emergency purchase, Mr. Chairman.
Emergency purchase?
Yes.
Negotiated purchase?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Correct. So pila gyud siya kabuok, Attorney Maratas?
3, Mr. Chairman.
How many?
3.
Ulo, okay, 3. Because I remember also Member Rama, during the last few sessions, he also was asking about this one set because more than 25. So tulo ni siya kabuok, 18 million, so around 6 million ang usa.
No, Mr. Chairman.
No?
The price of one PCR machine is 1.8 million.
Okay, so ang kuha na siya kanang bali, it's a complete set. What was the composition of one set, Mr. Chair, may I ask?
Let me continue, Mr. Chairman. Genolution DNA RNA extractor kit. The quantity is 236. Swab test kit, 30,400 quantity. Quadgen DNA RNA extraction kit. Quantity is 250. Refrigerated centrifuge. Quantity is 1. Mini centrifuge. Quantity is 2. Mayo Lab centrifuge. Quantity is 1. Vortexer. Quantity is 2. Pipette with 10 microliter. Quantity 1. Pipette, 2 yellow and 1 blue. 20 to 1,000 microliter, quantity is 3. Pipette tip white, 10 racks per box, quantity is 3. Pipette tip yellow, 10 racks per box, quantity is 3. Pipette tip blue, 10 racks per box, quantity is 2. EP tube 1.5 ml microcentrifuge, 500 pieces per box, quantity is 5. Micro and optical adhesive film, quantity is 5. Micro amp optical 96 well reaction plate with barcode, quantity is 5. Rotary stand, quantity 4. Pipette filter tips 2 microliter, 10 racks, quantity is 5.
Mr. Chair, Attorney Maratas, so ang one set ani is not only the machine or apparatus but also including all the consumables. Is that correct? Yes, that's right, Mr. Chair. I heard you mention a while ago regarding the test kits na 30,000, correct? Included kits, Mr. Chair. So, okay. May I ask also below that under this machine we have here test kits 30 million budget and when we purchased 30,000 units at 974 and the total is 29,240. This is different from the 18 million that you mentioned that you approved to purchase the complete of the test kits. So this is separate.
The session is resumed. The chair believes that the resource person is now ready to answer the queries coming from members of the council, or specifically the queries raised by the gentleman from Cogon Park. Sige na, please proceed.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For the cans of sardines, Mr. Chairman, under PO 203, it's 1,200,000. Then under PO 207, it's 180,000. So the total is 1,380,000, Mr. Chairman. For the beef loaf, for PO 203, it's 1,200,000. For PO 207, it's 180,000. So the total is 1,380,000. For the corned beef, for PO 203, it's 1,200,000. For PO 207, it's 180,000. So the total is 1,380,000. For the sausage, for PO 203, it's 600,000. For PO 207, it's 90,000. So the total is 690,000. For the noodles, for PO 203, it's 1,400,000. For PO 207, it's 210,000. So the total is 1,610,000, Mr. Chairman.
At this juncture,
Yeah,
the chair
can we
would
have
like to
also a
remind-
copy with that, Mr. Chairman?
Wait a minute. Order, please. At this juncture, the chair would like to remind all the members of the council that we are now discussing not only item number 1, but also item number 2. They're intertwined, intermingled. And so, ipodo na naton duha, so our discussion will cover both items 1 and 2. O, sige, padayon.
Mr. Chairman?
Any more queries?
Yeah,
from
Mr.
anyone?
Chairman.
Yes, the minority leader.
Yeah, I would like to request Attorney June to give us the detailed copy of that PO also. Okay, that can go. Attorney June, if you are going to look at it, you have 1,380,000 cans of sardines, and if you're going also to look at the DTI regulated prices, it's basically beyond. So we're not allowed to do that. We will be in trouble actually. So I have the basic necessities and prime commodities suggested price, and if you're going to look at just one, for example, for the sardines, you're actually buying it for an amount of 24 pesos. And we are only allowed a maximum of something like 17. So, we're of trouble. So let us say, bisag 5 pesos lang, Attorney June, so we'll have about 7 million It's supposed to be, we could buy this and something else. So what can you say about this?
Mr. Chairman, I've read also that memorandum, Mr. Chairman. It actually refers to the a certain Republic Act, which the Consumer Price Act, and it's actually a gray area, Mr. Chairman, because it refers to the selling in retail, Mr. Chairman. Retail, as defined, is the sale of the direct selling of goods to actual consumers in small quantities, Mr. Chairman. And in fact, we have downloaded a price freeze of basic necessities, Mr. Chairman. It states here that price freeze for supermarkets and groceries, Mr. Chairman. That's why I'm saying that it's actually a gray area, which we refer to under the law. But it's just my opinion, Mr. Chairman. I may be wrong or correct, but
This is
I would say it's a gray area.
Attorney June, this is not gray because selling SRP prices, we know for a fact that it should be expensive than we buy it by bulk. Take note that you buy one, then you buy 1 million. It's a big difference, Attorney
Yes.
June. So this is not something that we should be comfortable of, because all of us here will be also liable if we're going to let it go.
I agree, Mr. Chairman. If you go to the supermarket bringing money, then you will be able to choose the lowest price, Mr. Chairman. But if you go to a supermarket bringing only a purchase order, that would be a different story, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if they will deliver those amount of goods using only a purchase order, Mr. Chairman. Considering also that under this purchase, there are certain added services that will be given by the supplier, Mr. Chairman.
So basically, if you buy in bulk, it would be less price for the manufacturer, actually. But
Yes.
anyway, we're just asking you to look into this.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Because this is very, very big amount. If you're
Actually,
going to continue to
on
look
the basis
at
of
this,
the ABC, Mr. Chairman, we didn't change anything from the ABC. It has been the ABC since the last purchases, which are even dating to the previous administration, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, that's the ABC that we're using.
I don't
And
understand.
we didn't change anything, Mr. Chairman.
But we don't have to argue, Attorney Joan. I'm telling you that there is a suggested selling price and we are bound to it, okay? And this registering retail price is retail. And we know for a fact that retail prices is of course bigger and expensive than those of bulk buying. And
Yes,
why
that
is it? Yeah.
I don't want to argue also, Mr. Chairman, but that is if you buy in cash, Mr. Chairman. And considering that in our purchases, Mr. Chairman, sometimes payment would even take years, Mr. Chairman. So I think that's also considered by the supplier, Mr. Chairman. No, don't laugh, Mr. Chairman, because I will give you a classic example, Mr. Chairman. The Angkas rice that the previous administration purchased, Mr. Chairman, the supplier was only paid last
Can you stop
week.
it? We're not the administration before. We're talking about now.
I'm just saying that
Do not do that.
that's how we pay,
No,
Mr.
do
Chairman.
not
That's the time that we
compare.
look. That's the time that it takes time to pay, Mr. Chairman.
Times actually. But you don't have to tell it to us. Because what we're trying to do now, if there was wrong before, it's not legal, it's not moral to make more wrong now. This is the thing that we're trying to do. Because we want to correct something if they're wrong before. So don't mention that. We could probably do, mingon ka nga, pwede lang ni og 20 o 26 kaysa una, gipalit mo ni 27. I don't think that's a good idea. What we're trying to do now, if this is correct, now you say if it's correct, then that's okay with you. I mean, we're just telling you that we feel that there's something you need to let us understand.
Besides, Mr. Chairman, before we bought that one, Mr. Chairman, we made a canvas. And that's the lowest price that we can get, Mr.
It's up to
Chairman.
you. You can depend that. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, look, this is something you need to look. We're just the same, attorney. Okay? Because I feel that if there are people who will complain this, we will be also asked. Why did you not ask something like this? So you should feel that we are the same boat, actually. Okay? So muna yung mong ipangutanan nimo, and all other things like beef loaf, maura gihapon. So this is the thing that we need also to prepare, because there would be people who would be asking us. And at least we will know how to answer them. Okay? June at what I was telling us before, ni palit sila 27. So okay ra ni namong ipalit ni namo 24. And I don't think people will accept that kind of...
I'm just saying, Mr.
analogy.
Chairman, that's not the price that we got, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, just a follow-up question that's related to Councilor Archibald. Attorney Maratas, do you have the DTI price list, ceiling price? Do you have it with you?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a is it a generally, do they mention a specific brand, or it is general like corned beef, or there is specific brands?
There are specific brands, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so are the brands that we purchased part of the DTI price list?
No, Mr. Chairman.
No. So that being said, it is not covered in the DTI price list.
It's not covered here because the specific items are specified in the DTI price list, Mr. Chairman.
So that being said, if it's not covered in the DTI price list, then it's not covered at all in our purchase because we purchase a different kind of brand. Am I correct?
That would be a logical conclusion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
No. I don't think we are the same boat here. Actually, the things that you have bought is actually in the price list, right? Ay kuing nang wa mo mopalit aning wa sa price list.
The brands are different, Mr. Chairman.
It's different? What's the brand? Because so many people are asking me unsa tingan winner. And unsa pa bantog? Australia corned beef. I don't really know because we don't know, but my point now is I'm going also to ask Attorney June to give us the specifics of that brand and the PO so that we will know if this is part of the DTI. Because most of the items which are sold in the market are the items which are in the DTI.
Yes, we will do that, Mr. Chairman.
Is it okay with that, Attorney
Yes,
June?
yes, we will do that.
Attorney June, please furnish the council a copy of the brands that we bought so that we can compare it to the DTI price list.
Yes, we will do that, Mr. Chairman.
Because I think that will settle once and for all that particular issue that Councilor Archibald has. Thank you. Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
if other members of this august body does not have any questions for Attorney Maratas, maybe we can move on because our MCWD Chairman, Joey Daluz, was not able to finish from last session's report and he wants to finish this.
Raymond, last.
Okay,
the other one
Councilor
is
Archibald has one more question.
Yeah, the brand of the rice also, Attorney?
Yeah.
What are the brand? Are you have one brand or two brands?
Different brands, Mr. Chairman.
Did you get something about 1,000 sacks coming from NGA or NFA?
No, Mr. Chairman, no.
Because Tony Raymond was saying during one of our sessions that you ordered about 1,000 sacks. So you did not order?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Kay mas brato. Now, the last would be the van rentals. I can see that you have a lot of van rentals, Attorney June. This is about 20 plus, how many of this? 30 vans for 60 days. And this is 5,500 per van. Is it 8 hours, 24 hours?
24 hours.
24 hours?
Yes.
It's may musakay ani 30 ka buok ba mga ni kagabi.
Actually, the vans are deployed to our responders. Some are deployed to the police that are handling.
Oh, anyway, part of it would be PO also, okay?
Come again, Mr. Chairman.
The PO? The PO? Yeah. So the 5,005 includes everything, the driver and the gasoline?
Yes.
For 24 hours?
Yes.
Okay, please. I think that's all, Mr. Chairman. Huh?
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chair.
Yes, with the pleasure.
I just have
gentlemen.
question for Attorney Maratas. We just want to also to be enlightened, Attorney Maratas, kaning atong gipalit nga ventilator nga unsa ni siya nga brand nga 20 ka buok. So tagay lang mi ana Attorney Maratas, ha? And also kaning transfer stretcher nga tag 200,000 ang usa, unsa ni siya klase nga unsay pasabot aning transfer stretcher, no? Nga tag 200,000 nga 20 ka buok. Mao ra na siya Attorney Maratas. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we'll provide you a copy.
Mr. Chairman?
Sige.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
I just want to manifest, Mr. Chairman. Actually, the questions raised by the good minority floor leader are the same questions raised by concerned citizens nga ako pong nadawa through social media. So I just hope that our representatives from the executive department will bear with us because, you know, we are in a public health crisis. We are in a pandemic and people are very sensitive sa public spending, no, sa atong gasto sa gobyerno. So mao na nga dili gyud kalikayan nga naay mga pangutana ani attorney ba. So I just hope that the executive department will bear with us because this is part of our mandate, oversight function as members of this council because ako naman yung gisulti sa mga nangaging mga session that the money that we are spending are not our money, it's people's money. So mana nga as much as possible atog yung panikamutan nga natubag yun nato ang mga pangutana in the spirit of transparency and public accountability. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The query raised by Councilor Dizon is very valid, and the resource person is requested to answer his query.
And this, Mr. Chairman, we'll furnish this body a copy of those that are being requested, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. Let's
Chairman.
to Councilor Leah Habson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Attorney. If possible, can we may ask also the contract for the buses?
Contract for what, Mr. Chairman?
Contract for the buses. Do you have any contract for the buses?
Okay,
the one we
yeah,
rented?
yeah. The my bus.
Can you give us a copy also for that contract?
Yes,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
Jun, ang kaning mga PPE na to ba, lain-lain man presyo, 2,000, unya na ay 1,004, ngano ni?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the first batch that we ordered, Mr. Chairman, that was the price that was given to us. Unfortunately, luckily, after we purchased that one, there was another supplier that offered a lesser price, Mr. Chairman. That's why we purchased the lesser price for the subsequent purchase, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
All right. The resource person has answered the query from the gentle lady, Councilor Habson, Leah Habson. Is there any other member?
Mr. Chairman.
Who wishes to
Mr. Chairman.
congratulate the sponsor
Mr. Chairman.
via the gentleman who is now on the floor? The majority leader is requested.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Is recognized.
I would just like to remind Attorney Maratas that all of the concerns of the members of the council are very valid, and sakto ang giingon ni Councilor Alvin Dizon that people are very sensitive now with the public funds and how we spend our public funds, especially that now that people are just in their homes looking at Facebook, looking at news, looking at TV. So this is really one way for the executive to be transparent to the people as well. So can you double time, Attorney Maratas, on the requests of the councilors, the documents that they need, so that you know, they can also have their peace of mind, and they can also research, if ever, they can also compare, you know, with other prices that they may come across. That being said, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to thank Attorney Maratas for coming over and accepting our invitation. and for answering all of our questions candidly. Now, Mr. Chairman, may we excuse Attorney Maratas?
Chairman.
And yes,
Just a quick suggestion na ko. Yes, thank you, Chairman. I was told, I'm not look into it, nga ang Pasig, mayo kuno kayo pagpresentar. So maybe tanawa sa online, ilan yung ipagawa sa gasto aning COVID sa ilang bilyon na gasto. But I've not seen it, Chairman. I was just told na tanawa na ninyo. Kamu, may accounting, tanawang Pasig, wapo kayo. But, you know, tanawa ko no, kay may gisulti nga na wapo kuno kayo. It's just a suggestion, Chairman. Thank you.
yeah, maybe you can take a look at the format of how Pasig, the city of Pasig, presented their expenses. Thank you very much, Councilor Joyang, for that suggestion. Thank you very much, Attorney Maratas, for coming over. And Mr. Chairman, may we excuse Attorney Maratas, and may we now recognize former Councilor and now MCWD Chairman, Attorney Joey Daluz, to finish his presentation.
Okay, come over to the rostrum. Is the resource person ready?
Mr. Chair, good afternoon.
Yes, Attorney Daluz is recognized.
The last session, Chair, we made the presentation of the CCQC. That was only the first part. We would like to finish the indulgence of the council before they ask questions, Mr. Chair. So
Are they here?
may I be allowed another? The structure, the CCQC. The second part now is the more on the inside and the operation of CCQC. Can I ask
Sige,
the
please
Hospital
proceed.
Administrator, Ivan
Okay.
Kanya, to do the honors, Mr. Chair?
To the presiding judge, Honorable Antonio Cuenco, Sangguniang Panlungsod members, department heads, co-workers of the government, good afternoon. Maayong hapon ka natong tanan. Maayong hapon ka natong tanan. Today, I will present to you Cebu City Quarantine Center. As a brief background, the Cebu City Quarantine Center, an extension of CCMC, is a 200-bed state-of-the-art quarantine facility, which is the biggest in the entire region. And this, I would like to thank the Cebu City government for this achievement. Cebu City Quarantine Center is managed by Cebu City Medical Center. It sits on 1,800 square meter property in North Reclamation area and is dedicated to house Cebu City residents who tested positive and manifest mild to moderate symptoms of COVID-19. Opening the doors of Cebu City Quarantine Center for public use is not easy, as many people would think. To be considered a duly certified COVID-19 facility, DOH check if standard requirements are being complied. In short, we need to pass through a strict evaluation of DOH before we can start admitting patients. Well, we work hard day and night and hard work paid off. DOH made their final ocular check in the area, and yes, we were able to get the certificate and license to operate as community isolation unit. Modesty aside, the licensing team remarked that among those they inspected in Region 7, Cebu City Quarantine Center is number 1, their list. Proud moment for all of us. Allow me to present to you a very short video presentation of what's inside the Cebu City Quarantine Center.
Certificate.
Sige, okay. Presentation. Okay.
You go through the last slide.
Okay. PowerPoint. First. Paspas lang.
Chairman, kita mo yung picture na dali.
Next slide.
DOH, that is our certificate of license to operate as community isolation unit. State-of-the-art facility, our amenities. Amenities and equipment. We have the negative pressure and the HEPA filter. Designed to protection of patients. Okay. 40 units of air conditioning, 15 units of smart TV, mechanical ventilator, portable x-ray, heavy-duty generator, and public Wi-Fi, courtesy of Globe. 200 individual beds, 25 spacious comfort rooms with lavatory, individual BP apparatus, pulse oximeter, personal kits to all patients. 30 units of high-definition video CCTV cameras. Paging system control. Two-way communication with City Hall Emergency Operation Facility. 4 ambulances for patient transport, 2 negative pressure and 2 non-negative pressure. Physical setup and operational flow. Admitting area, resting area, and laboratory. Donning area, decontamination area, and doofing area. Storage room, central supply, and pharmacy. Pass-through box, that's our red zone, the yellow zone, and the green zone. Aerial view of Cebu City Quarantine Center. Sa video na. Human resource. Okay na siya. Video na lang rin.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, the chair recognizes the gentleman from
Mr. Chairman.
the vote leader. Oh, yes, the lady.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a clarification with
Lady
our...
first, the lady is recognized.
Thank you for recognizing me, Mr. Chairman. Just a clarification with our speaker, Mr. Chairman. Is our quarantine facility already a negative pressure?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Can we see first the video, and then after that we can entertain questions?
Okay.
These are not normal times. We are facing a common invisible enemy nga dili gyud nato makita ug makadaot kanato, dili lang dinhi sa Cebu City kundi sa tibuok kalibutan.
Today I'm very happy and proud as a Cebuano. No, I know you feel the same way, no? Karong adlaw we see nakita nato ang CCQ. See, not only as a structure but karon, no, we will operate and we will cater to the Cebuanos, no, especially atong COVID patient.
Indeed, I take pride that this quarantine facility is the first ever and the biggest in Cebu City and the entire country. Duly licensed to operate by the DOH.
Despite the challenges, when we started this construction of the quarantine, nagsugod sa natong ECQ. So So, naglisod tas atong mga manpowers, atong mga materials, but despite that, we have finished the construction of the quarantine. 28 days, but 28 days, nibarog na ang atong quarantine. Now after that, we turn over to CCMC. Kayo kaninyo, no? Congratulations. And I could say that CCMC truly cares.
It's going to be a center nga for excellence, no? For COVID kay San Jose sa Sur. It's very high-tech, no? Even our monitoring system is very nice. So,
this virus really sometimes challenges us to unity and everything. We might have different way of opinion, but all of us, we are not enemies, we are as one. Ang atong kontra is only the COVID virus.
Ubanta sa pagbatok sa COVID-19 ug ubanta sa kausaban because CCMC cares.
In the meanwhile, we would like to announce that the presiding officer, the vice mayor, is now here, and he will take over, and I shall go down. In the meantime, the session is suspended.
Before anything else, I was watching, but be reminded that I'm the chairman of the committee on. Just a reminder. Like this serving, anything has been done on the area of health, but the chair, never been asked, never been involved. Am I not a part of the government? Please, I want that answer. Because now you're asking for what? How much?
Mr. Chair,
How much?
for CCMs, for the Cebu City Quarantine Center, Mr. Chair,
How much was the CCMC?
59 million, Mr. Chair.
Question is now resolved. Majority floor leader, where are we now?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon.
Where we are now, we are already discussing the CCMC and the quarantine center at the North Reclamation Area, precisely where we left off in our last session, where Chairman Joey De Luz presented the Cebu City Quarantine Center, and he is just finishing off his presentation. And now we are already in the question and answer portion, where members of this august body, if they have queries, they are free to ask now former councilor and now MCW Chairman Joey De Luz.
Who will be interpolating?
Mr. Chair, may I introduce first the resource speaker. Anyone can ask question. This is Engineer Lowell Corminal, who is the project engineer for the quarantine center and the hospital administrator for CCMC.
Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
May we now recognize, Mr. Chairman, our our guest resource speaker for this afternoon, Attorney Joey De Luz, and also
May the chair also inquire why was there anyone from CCMC who attended the inauguration of NOAA? Anton,
No, Mayor Pag.
you were not invited?
You were not invited.
How come, Sonia?
Only in the morning, Mayor, you tour us in the NOAA. But in the
Who did
afternoon,
not invite them? That's why I was waiting for the loose. I was also awaiting for some members because we were expecting all of you.
There was no invitation, Mayor.
Anyway, we will have our what we call debriefing. I want to know what happened, why there was no DOH, and why there was no CCMC. Anyone who would like to interpolate?
Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Yang.
Naalala ko yung comment, itong video ipakita. Mauto siyang quarantine center sa NRA, Joy?
Yes, sir.
Naalala ko yung comment, Chairman, I don't expect any answer for this one. You know, in the time that we are now, naku kita problema, I think the making and the showing of that video is very bad taste. It's necessary. We spent money for what? To impress us. The bottom line is not being used. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, nakalimut ko kinsa to. Iguwa mo sa paper na ay atong department din niingon nga. Pasalamat lang nga wa magamit. Kaya pasabot ko na wa makinanglan, wa siya mabuang. Tungod ning saad mo nga mahuman og 10 days, wa niyo mahuman, napugos na gamit sa mga eskwelahan as quarantine center. Karon problema ron dipet unsa og limpyo mga eskwelahan. 19 schools, Mr. Chairman, apis bukid, gigamit. Wa na mahuman. Diba? Dili man na paraan na ron. Pag sugo na to, anak, quarantine center man na. Tungkol wa mata quarantine center, giablihan ng Barrios Elementary School. Wa na lang kung mababag, anak, wa may kabutangan. That's just my comment, Mr. Chairman. That's how I feel about it.
Anyone who would like to, Chairman De Luz?
Well, Mr. Chair, we were just following the IATF guidelines on the admission of patient. At first, we cannot put the asymptomatic in that area because that was intended for the second level admission. There was a announcement that there is a fear that the hospital will be overwhelmed with symptomatic patients. And that is why Bayanihan in Sacred Heart and in the NRA was conceptualized in order for these hospitals to be safe and not overwhelmed with COVID patient, as a symptomatic COVID patient. But later on, there was this asymptomatic patients of COVID, but cannot be placed in the second level, which is the NRA quarantine center. So another place should be established to put all of these asymptomatic patients because wa man din sila yung mga sakit, Mr. Chair. And the quarantine center evolved into a second level admission center because to prevent flock overwhelming of our hospital, Mr. Chair.
Anyone?
Mr. Chairman.
Councilor? Thank you, President, Minority Floor Leader, for attending yesterday. You are now recognized.
Yeah, Councilor Joey, we have a PO originally which is about 99 million, and I understand that is the POWA. And during the time when it was started, what is started with a purchase order or a contract with a contractor? Because right now it's the way I see it, it's 59 million. So my question is, during the time when you started it all, and I think that was March 20 something, right? So you started with a contractor, with a
Before you
contract.
proceed, when we had 1 billion approved, what date was it? And you go back to the transcript of record, because that was very important. Because we were made to understand in this council, I'm speaking as the chairman of the health. I'm speaking as the chairman also of the coronavirus task force of the Sangguniang Panlungsod. It's always been better to think about this council for giving all our support. We did not have to be delaying because we want to respond. And bear in mind, April 5, we were only having 22 positive. And right now, we are already into 2,000 positive. And we have to be, in a way, be mindful that it was when Mariulus exploded, then the rest just went and followed. So I wish, looking back to that stenographic notes, I will always remember the word stigma. That's why we do not have to use SRP, because of stigma. I do not know how the executive should justify why we have gone from 22 to 2,000 at present. That is something that we should be mindful, and precisely, I do not know what is the basis of the national government. We could have been already declared, as member Councilor Quinco would wish, more freedom by now. And now we're still under Councilor Raymond Garcia. What are we into now?
Modified, enhanced community quarantine.
We have been delayed, actually. We have been very much delayed. We should have been under general community quarantine. If we have all the quarantine facility as early as we have been promised. What date was that when we approved the budget?
We approved that budget. This is Resolution number 2288, the ordinance number 2560. This was on March 20, Mr. Chairman.
Approval of the budget, but the presentation of the budget, was it on the same day?
This was signed by the mayor on March 23, Mr. Chairman.
Sonia, because we had a deliberation, where was it done? At
The caucus room, Mr. Chairman.
And what was the date?
This was a Friday, Mr. Chairman, March 20, this was a Wednesday, March 20, Mr. Chairman.
March 20, right?
When we approved the 1 billion budget, Mr.
When we
Chairman.
approved the 1 billion. And what was the assurance? That when we approve the 1 million, 100 million will be for North reclamation. And how many days that it should be standing?
I believe it was 10 days, Mr. Chairman.
More or less 10 days. And what is the date? From March 20, when it was operational. With patience. I'm talking about with patience. Can anyone answer? With patience.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. As of the present, no patient is yet to be admitted on the facility.
Is that patient as of this present time?
Yes, as of this present time.
There are already patients?
None, Mr. Chair.
None. And how many days from March 20 now? We're almost June. How many days?
If I'm correct, Mr. Chair, about 50 days already, Mr. Chair.
No, I'm talking about when we approved the 1 billion. We are already more than a month. How many months?
Nearing 2 months, Mr. Chairman.
It's nearing 2 months, engineer.
Actually, more than 2 months.
And you know how many times I've been there? I've been there 2 times. What was the assurance? That's why I'm just giving you, especially you engineer, because you were there when I went. I don't know if Councilor Archibald, how many times did you go there?
I was there something like April. Yes? I know, no, May. That's May. That's May. That's May. Around May 5.
That's why I'm reacting as the chairman of the Committee on Health. And that's precisely when Mariulos exploded. What did I say in this council? I am sad, I am worried, and I really was almost angry. Because I knew that when that Mariulos had exploded, knowing how dense the area, what will follow is Carita, what will follow is Hippodromo, and including Lorega. And now it expanded to Tejero. I do not know if you have that memory, and then it went across the south. And now we have almost how many barangay isolation center, Councilor Yang?
19, Chairman.
19. And we've never envisioned, like Councilor Yang, I've been a chairman of the Committee on Education. And it has never been imagined by me that that memory will include that schools have become a quarantine. Because whether you like it or not, when you have become positive and you are being placed in the school, how do you call that area? Isn't it a quarantine? Ibon? I'm asking the question. Are we not converting the school as a quarantine? We are converting the school as a quarantine. That's why it really pains me. We have all the money, more than anyone have, in any local government unit. And looking back, from 22, and it went to up to this present, 2,000 positive. You may call it asymptomatic, it is still positive. Precisely, we are still under, instead of general, that Councilor Quinco would wish, and all of us would have wished, we are now still under moderate. Councilor Garcia?
Mr. Chairman, according to the IATF, we are still in moderate, but based on our recommendation, Mr. Chairman, that we be downgraded already to GCQ. We have already made an appeal, Mr. Chairman. So we are just waiting for them to act on our appeal, Mr. Chairman.
We just have to pray because the outcry is already so overwhelming. They have been too much already of being burdened, and our constituency every time we will look at our text, what do we receive? Complaints. Can anyone tell me now, member of the Sangguniang, that you have not received any complaint about SAP, about senior citizen, about how do we deal with people on a lockdown? That's why it has become incumbent upon us to do our job, because otherwise we don't even know whether we survive COVID. So, anyone who would like to come in? Councilor Abuya?
Just very quick, Mr. Chairman, on the statement of Member Garcia that they are appealing for the downgrading of the status, Mr. Chairman. What is the basis of the appeal? Because I'm quite alarmed, Mr. Chairman, if we will appeal for the downgrading and the status, we are uncertain.
Councilor Garcia?
Yeah. Well, from what I know, because it is the executive who appealed, not the legislative, from what I know, they have some datas that they have shown to the IATF in Manila why Cebu should be downgraded from MECQ to GCQ, and one of their bases that they put was that I think they have a DOH also recommendation supporting the region supporting our appeal for downgrading, and then they also mentioned the low rate for mortality because Cebu City is one of the lowest as compared to the rest of the Philippines. Those are the two things that, and of course the preparedness in terms of facilities, as again compared to all other municipalities and cities in the Philippines. So I think these are the three main reasons that they are asking the IATF in Manila to downgrade our status from MECQ to GCQ.
I hope we will be giving, or we will have the specific answer, Mr. Chairman, because the downgrading of our situation now, Mr. Chairman, should not be based on mortality. It should be based on the cases. Remember, we are now the epicenter, local epicenter. We are number one in cases of COVID. So I think we should know what's the basis, because I remember before when the IATF wanted to downgrade to general quarantine here in Cebu, we appeal for the status quo. So I can understand of that, because we all know that the number of cases is rising here in Cebu City. But now we are appealing for the downgrading. I should know, and people should know, every one of us here should know the reason of the downgrading. If the cases was lowering down, or I don't know what's really the reason for the request or for the appeal.
Actually, we would have wished that as a body we will meet the mayor. Councilor.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy, Mr. Chairman, if it would be downgrading, if it's really that we ought to be downgraded. But for the sake of to equal to other LGUs, I think that's not also good, Mr. Chairman. The appeal should be based really on the status of Cebu City. It should be based on scientific evidence, Mr. Chairman, so to speak.
You would wish is more on evidence-based. But anyhow, that's why I was trying to bring the member chairman, Joey Dalos, that we would have wished all of us, as a group, and then with your group, and then with the mayor around, so that we can discuss really the nitty-gritty because we really have a real concern, but we already have some solutions. And some of you will have solutions. Councilor Yang and then Councilor Alcoseba.
Mr. Chairman, I would really wish that you stop dreaming about meeting the mayor, because I think personally it's useless. Not only has he snubbed us for several times, but as I have known in the past many months or years, Chairman, wa may mahimo yang isaad, yung mga pumadayon. So what's the point? So para nako pasagdan na to ni niya, kaumat may sambat-samba ba niya. We as a council would just do our best to support whatever is needed. But I feel personally, Chairman, I feel it's a waste of time.
Councilor Cuenco. So anyway, Councilor Cosiba.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is just my observation, Mr. Chairman, because from the listening from the President last night, he declared already in CR, the capital region, Mr. Chairman. I was surprised that Cebu City was declared modified, and Mandawi City was declared general community quarantine, Mr. Chairman. If you could see the geography of the city, NCR, Talisay City, Cebu City, Mandawi City, is more or less the same. So as of now, people are asking from Cebu City, especially our constituent, why we are singled out. Because as a constituent, or you're living in Cebu City, Mr. Chairman, you cannot go to Mandawi City, you cannot go to Talisay City, Mandawi City cannot go to Cebu City. So, as if we are in a lockdown already, Mr. Chairman, Cebu City. So, it's very embarrassing. If you could see in the social media, Mr. Chairman, I don't know, everybody is complaining already. So, this must be serious because this decision to put Cebu City modified came from the IATF. So they may have serious reason to declare Cebu City modified until now, Mr. Chairman. So I don't know if we're doing right. As you have mentioned, Mr. Chairman, we have all the money.
Correct.
We have all the money. We could see already with that. I think this is the first time in the Philippines that we have this negative pressure quarantine. But sad to say, people are asking, ano, may pasinti, kisam na imusuda. It cost us 59 million. Mr. Chairman, Member Councilor Yang mentioned about Pasig, what the Pasig did, the Chairman. And also, my observation, Mr. Chairman, in Manila, they did not build any building. They used the Rizal Memorial, they used the Ninoy Aquino Stadium, they used the PICC. In San Juan, they used... But it's only us, Mr. Chairman, who spent about 60 million for that quarantine. But people are asking, Mr. Chairman, what we are doing. Because we are part of Cebu City, Mr. Chairman. I think as a member of this council, we have done our part. You mentioned about, we approved the 1 billion already, Mr. Chairman. And now, we have it already. Next session, we're discussing again the supplemental budget. Again, we could see the figure that they're asking for another 500 million for COVID budget also, Mr. Chairman, if I'm not wrong. So, it's very hard for us to explain to our constituent, Mr. Chairman. Atong mga constituent, Mr. Chairman, na gutom na, way trabaho, way katutagakuan, way makaari sa province. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Dizon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to re-echo the manifestation of Councilor Alcoseba. You know, in Pasig, Mr. Chairman, the Pasig City government converted the Philippine Sports Arena now as a quarantine facility, and they only spent around 15 to 20 million for such project. The Department of Health, the national government through the Department of Health, in partnership with the private sector, also converted the following existing buildings in Metro Manila as a quarantine facility. This include PICC, the Philippine International Convention Center, the World Trade Center in Manila, the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, also in Manila. In addition, Mr. Chairman, in Tarlac, the Athletes Village, which was used during the 2019 Southeast Asian Games, is also converted, is now being converted as a national quarantine facility for the coronavirus. So, I would like to ask Chairman De Luz and his colleagues in the NRA quarantine project, why do we need to spend millions of pesos for this facility nga pwede unta natong nga pwede ra unta ta mo gamit sa atong mga existing buildings? We have plenty of gymnasiums, barangay gymnasiums in the city of Cebu. We have the CCMC, no? We have Abiliana, the sports center. Why spend almost 60 million pesos just to build this facility nga pwede unta ta nga makasave, utilize pag-ayos sa atong resources? Actually, kini nga pangutana, Mr. Chairman, mao po ni ang pangutana sa daghan kay natong mga constituents diha sa social media. I have a friend from the academe, a renowned professor in one of the local universities. Nangutanag yun ako, Councilor Dizon, nganong nigasto mamu og 60 million ni anang facility diya sa NRA nga pwede ra unta magamit ang kwarta para mahuman ang atong CCMC. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, just addition. In addition, Chairman, ang ilang ingon ba nga gano, kung man yung gamit ang Abiliana Sports Complex, guwapo ta kayo pasyente. Kung naamang pulis niya, so ang pulis lagi pubutang niyo eskwelahan. Di ba? Ang pulis pubutang eskwelahan, may problema. Maduol pa asal ma-assign. Kung asa kag talama, ato ka talama elementary school, kaya ng pulis, di ba taga din eh. Nang Abiliana, may gihimo niyo quarantine center. Hangin, dako kayong gym, maka-jogging pa ang mga pasyente. Sus, yung gusto ko kagtang, buhangaw ako kunuhon na anak.
But I think be reminded, it's this council that approved the 1 billion.
Chappy. Walay audio.
You have to be, but that's why I was bringing the transcript of record. Can I have the transcript of record? Because we were all 100% wanting to really respond to COVID. At that time when we approved 1 billion, can you tell us, if you have the data, how many COVID we have in Cebu City? 1 minute recess. Sapi. Sapi. Bidaw, Raymond, dagang kay nag-uol ko nga wala tama general community quarantine. Ako lang gignan nga wa mo di problema na, but we have to make a bold move actually. Ang bold move na, fellow members, ato ginagwaon mga tao somewhere nga naa diha, then bring it to where so that we will be able to give assurance. The word mangod ni ka, coach, assurance ba? So, anyway, wala tayo dito. Kaya importante ka na dito. Asang kopya sa stenographic notes.
Ikaw na, pre.
Okay na? Mami dito? Importante kayo nga, when we approve the 1 billion, we already approved the 1 billion. Part of that 1 billion was the 100 million. But we were assured, if member of Chairman Dalos was around, that the building will arise in 10 days, or more or less 10 days time. And then of course, kung imong tanahon ang tabo, kung napatong dayon ang NRA, ang mga sakit sa NRA, dili man to asymptomatic ra. Nasugod man to symptomatic. Pero ang nahitabo sa Barrios, unsa man, gibilin ang symptomatic diha sa Barrios until it created an explosion. Muna siya nahitabo. And then muna nauso ang BIC, Barangay Isolation Center. Sakto ko, Councilor Tumulak, nga appeal si Councilor Tumulak Town, appeal si Councilor Garganera, naglabad ang unang kasas, they all are attending to this barangay isolation centers. Ang uban, ningon rin, waman nila, tatanaw rin man sila nga, nindot iyo, nahatay barangay isolation centers, nindot kay paminawon, ang pangutan na asa ninyo gibutang, barangay isolation center, asa? Eskwelahan. Yuyang, eskwelahan. Kami ni Juyang, lahi may filosofiya sa eskwelahan, basta sunog. Di na musugot, buhato ng eskwelahan o evacuation center sa sunog. Dave, hinundong ka Dave, di na nasugot. Samot, gibuhat ng iskira ka barangay isolation center. Sa musugot Juyang. So anyway, that's the story. Councilor Gumula.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for for the information, but during that time, yes, I admit I was the one who instigated the BIC at that time because it needs an urgent matter, Mr. Chairman.
No choice.
There's no choice. Can you
There was no
imagine?
choice.
During that time, we transported 1,275 positive COVID patient, asymptomatic, and there's a chaos inside the respective barangays. There's a stigma, there's a discrimination at the time. So we, in the government, we have to act on it right away just to pagpugong sa kasamok diha sud sa mga sitio. And imagine 1,295 if ever naapa ni sila sa mga sitio, how many positive patients nowadays roaming around in our city. So I'm so sorry, Councilor Yang, Vice Mayor, for the prompt action that was we initiated at that time.
No choice.
Yes, rest assured, Mr. Chairman, nalipay kayo nga itong mga positive patients while inside sa ato ang mga BIC. Well, naan naman tay SRP, hopefully, moro na yung atong mabutangan. And there's a time also to do decontamination sa tanan nga mga public schools na to o pag-repair sa ato ang mga schools. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Almost 80 barangays already went to see NOAA. You know what is the reaction? Naaraman rin ni Vice? Nga naman nagbuhat-buhat pamantag Barangay Isolation Center? Kiba ba ka, Vice? Nahulog na mong kwarta? You know, I'm telling you, our barangay officials are grieving because sila mo itaw pangayuag kwarta. Muna ako I felt bad because looking back, had we been doing what ought to be done, then we will not end up where we are right now, suffering what we failed to do. Muna siya, hantod ang ato ang estados, we are a highly urbanized city, Queen City of the South. Ano ang uban? Freedom. Kita, modified. Muna diya, nagbanta lang ta. Muna na mahitabo na una to. Pero ang importante, we must act as one. And we should not be acting because of one. You know what I mean? Act as one, not acting because of one. So anyway,
Chairman,
go ahead.
before we Commodore recess, no? Yeah, I don't want to be called up.
Resume,
Chairman, just 1 minute, Mr. Chairman. I hope I'm not be called out of order, but anyway, what is human naman, yeah, kita tanan na ata aning emergency, naka-experience, I hope we will learn our lessons. But personally, Mr. Chairman, I think congratulations and thanks is in order to you, Vice Mayor Mekarama, for single-handedly constructing and opening the Noah's Ark. I'd like to apologize for not being there for personal reasons, but I had very many good comments from the media and my friends who were there, from the Chamber of Commerce, from the Filipino-Chinese of Commerce, and all those things. And ingon sila, Joy, kung gihimo pa ninyo, di tatamingin nani. Sagpa to na ko, Chairman, o ko katingogod. My other friend said, ginlig nga to. Kung pension house nang sa NRA, 5-star na nasa Noah's Ark, kompleto kuno technically, ukaantos duha. I'm just telling you what's there. So, congratulations and thank you very much, Chairman.
Ayun, papakpak ko, gawa ka man to. Patinoray, no, just At this point, I'm emotional. Why am I emotional? Because I'm a very proud Cebuano, coach. Nukmag mga katanan ito panahon basketball coach, coach, if EU versus Manila. Kaya, hindi ko kalimutan na coach. Ano ka coach? Gidabin. And now, what been happening to Cebu City? Now, Joey, this is not what I imagined for Cebu City.
Chairman,
Right now, na naman eh.
one more thing, Chairman. What ba di gastong gobyerno? What pa gastong gobyerno? Kaya private initiative man. Well, hindi 100%, but you know.
So where are we now?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilor?
I have questions to Councilor Joey or to the engineer who is in charge because, again, I saw POWA, which is about 99 million, and I realized that it is less than that. And that's why I was asking that during the time when it started in 28, I think, do we have a contractor already? So do you have that something like a contract with them? So we reduce it to somewhere 59 or that? Is that correct, Councilor Joy?
Yes, Mr. Chair. For the contract, Mr. Chair, me personally, I'm not privy with the status. But with regards to from the 99 million down to the 59 million, we in the engineering did some value engineering and assessment of the design. So with the first design, there are, as we have reviewed, there are over designs, so we trimmed down a bit. And then also, we also did some canvassing and resource from the suppliers. Now, there are inavailability of materials that should be put to the structure. So we again value engineering, Mr. Chair.
So basically, there's no contractor at all.
There is, Mr. Chair.
So what is the amount of the contract?
It is 58
million. Now,
58 million.
I understand from what Councilor Joy said, there were so many people who are helping us. And in fact, there were also some equipments that were donated or somewhat leased. Can we know about it?
Yes, I am aware because I was there almost every day, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, well, I would like to ask for a copy of the contract, engineer.
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
There is a question now. Considering that this is a negative pressure building, are you an engineer who is knowledgeable in negative pressure building? Or who designed it, actually?
I think the contractor, I consulted Engineer Paragsa for my knowledge with the negative pressure design, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, because the negative pressure building is a building. It's basically not a room. If you are going to look at it, it's 1,800. The moment you are going to put just even one patient, you are going to run a system which is more or less the same as the total rated capacity. This is very expensive, plus the fact that a negative pressure building is more expensive in maintenance, about 30 to 40% if it is not well maintained. So basically, this is a very expensive building in the sense that the high maintenance is there. So why is it that you did not put something like a room, just few rooms for negative? Kaya di mo gunang i-positive tanan, bisag nayo sa kabuk pasyente na diha, and I can see that the rooms are basically installed beside to each other. Then you have an aircon, and if you have somebody who is actually positive there and it has a level 2 COVID, So of course you are going to set all the machines in order on, or else you have you have series of equipments. So perting yung mahala na engineer. The other one is a negative pressure building produces a taas kayong humidity. And if you are not going to be good on maintenance on it, there would be molds in it. And if there would be molds in it, there would be bacteria in there. Ang mga tao nga naa diha mas sikli pa na sa gawas. So these are the things that you should bear in mind, that if this would be used in the future, which we expect that it would not be used, there would be big problems in the city. Because I don't know if you have tried in maintaining a negative pressure building. That's the third question.
Sa usap question. Primerong question.
The first question is that why you decide to make a negative pressure building than putting few rooms?
Can you answer that?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I recall that the DOH already, together with the engineers, certified the facility, one of which is the negative pressure facility. With regards to the maintenance, I was informed that I know for a fact that there are 4 negative pressure blowers sucking out the air from the inside to the outside, and there is this rotation of the equipment, that one of which, 3 at a time, that will be operating. With regards to the design, I can recall that it was designed to be a 25 cubic feet per minute negative pressure, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, that's the point. Now the question is, why did we design a negative pressure building where in fact, if we have only 1 or 2 or 3, and it's designed for something like, how many? 350? 200? So it's basically using almost all of the power. Now let us say, you are using 4 blowers. How much is 1 blower? What is the rated capacity of the blower? 1 blower.
Yes, if you divide the 25 divide by 4.
What is the capacity of one blower? Pardon me, Mr. Chair, I'm not well versed with the design of the mechanical. This is something we need to understand, engineer. Because if you have something like, let's say, 10 horsepower of blower, so you will have 10,000 or less 10,000 watts. And if you're going to use 3 of them, that's 30,000 watts.
So 30 in 1 hour, you have 30 kilowatt hours, so 30 times, that would be 12.
Yes, with regards to the wattage of the whole facility, Mr. Chair, I'm quite aware. We have applied for a 800 watts power from VECO, and then I think we are just using 500 to 600 watts, Mr. Chair.
I don't think so. 800 watts is only one lamp for a mercury lamp, which is 1,000 watts. Oh, how can you power the whole building with a power of only 1 mercury lamp? I don't think it's correct.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
What?
I think it's kilowatts, Mr. Chair.
Oh, make sure. We cannot do a question and answer, which is something like yes. We're just guessing. So this is something that this is a council, which is we're dealing about 100 million thing here, and we just like what's really an answer. It's an answer. It's not true now, false. Then later you go in true. So what is really because what we're trying to do here is that we want to know what would be the power that would be, used if you are going to use even 1 patient.
With regards to the power, we can submit a load schedule, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So,
Anyway, so as I have said, we approved the 1 billion. Part of that is the 100 million. And then what was being presented, especially by the mayor, that they only spent 58 million. plus all those donations, and perhaps put all these things together, we would was, maybe Councilor Archibald would want to know kung apilon ang donation tanan na may, we call it cost tanan, dong pilay gyoy di buok ana kay 58 raman ang atong nag-esto, di ba?
Yes,
Pila tanan ang cost sa donation?
We're still getting the final figure, Mr. Chair, because there are equipments that has been the time the equipment are still to be verified, to be deducted.
But anyway, the council would wish to know, because that is very important for purposes of record, so that we will know that there is a structure now in the note reclamation that if and when valued, it will be put in our documentation as so much. And will it be 100 million, which will include all these donations? Joy? Wala ka abot?
Mr. Chair, the structure is, as we said, 59 million, but it will still be reduced with all those donations because that 50
No. What I'm saying, ang atong na-release nga kwarta, 58 million.
58, yeah.
Wa pa na magastutanan.
Wala pa nabayaran, Mr. Chair, but that is the approved budget contract for the construction of the quarantine, which is 58 million plus. Now, once the contractor will claim, bill, the amount will still be lower than the 58 because there are reductions considering that Vic Enterprises donated 5,000 cement. We will remove that.
So in effect, Nestor Archibald, Consilor, ang gi-contract sa contractor is 58 milyones. Pero kaya naghanbang mga donation, so pwede na siyang minus pa dyan. Okay?
Yes.
I think that's very clear. Councilor Gabuya.
Yeah, mauna akong pangutan na, Mr. Chairman. Ako lang klaruhon nga, gagahapon ko ang presentation is 59 million, no? Unya, mauna ang sa program of work and estimate. So, ma-minus pa na sa mga donations. So,
Yes,
para
Mr.
klaro
Chair.
ba? Di ba? So, maayo ginamahuman sa na, Joey, kay the more isolation area, the better. So, ang akong pangutana lang, Attorney Joey, kung nasitol ba ang lot ownership? Kaya we will be spending later on with that amount, unya, di magdugay gamit na to ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. In principle, we are.
Yeah, because the area is the area where is the part of the land swapping, di ba? So, do we have na agreement with the province of Cebu regarding the usage of that area? It should be in a black and white, no? Kay haron protected yun ta, kay kuhaon niya na after.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Anyway, wa ko ilabot ang inyong swapping, ha?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, but na-approve naman gina, Mr. Chairman. And it was the 14th Sangguniang Panlungsod. Even both colors are really working for the realization of that land swapping, Mr. Chairman. In fact, it was Member Joey, bisita gina dito sa mga lain-laing barangay nga involved para gyud manindot yun ba ang land swapping. So, and I remember that area there is one of the area for land swapping. Now, ang ako lang punto din ni Mr. Chairman, kay uyon man ko ana, the more isolation, the better man yun. Diba? Pero, ganahan ako nga, kung ma-install, ma-construct na diha, it should be for a longest time. Kay, sayang sa datong igamit diha, for ang mga tao biya, wag yun kuwang yun sa pagkaon. Sa SAP, dito, daghan kayong wakadawat. Nanya, we will be spending millions of pesos here in our city. Kanya, wag yun may...
Tay Paragot, na yung mga konsilor sa gawas, sama ito pakibaw nga gusto sila mutingog? Hindi man na maklaro na ako diri sa akong screen karon. Mabantay mo? Mano itong style ko nga, online mix hybrid. Karon maluoy ta sa mga Councilor Philip Saprao. Madungog na to na siya dili. Councilor Sapra?
I think the secretariat can answer on.
Yan na si Councilor Guardo. Yan na si Councilor ona nga.
Patuo pa to si Guardo.
Nagtuob si Guardo.
Mrs. Chairman, patuo.
No, I'm just being fair kay in my text naa si course naa sa gawas kasi naa sa gawas Guardo, Sapra,
Mabatid, Mr. Chairman, also.
Idurama, who else?
Mabatid, Mr. Chairman.
Mabatid.
Mergamera also, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, ang ending ani wa man sila magtingog. So, ato na ni klaruhon ay napatong online na to, tingog patatanan. Kakwa mo, kani maluoy ito, naambang man sila. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Councilor Garcia, we had a better online session than this kind of a session.
But yes, Mr. Chairman, the suggestion came from me for physical session because of the budget presentation. It would be easier for us to interact and interpolate if it was a physical session.
Aside from that, dilita ma-emotional.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So,
Ibaw ka,
pwede na next
ini
meeting.
ma-emotional mo dahil makinundum mo mga promises. Niya mga promises, ikaduha, mutang mo diha, ibon, partik CCMC, kalimot mo mong chairman mo kus committee on health, wap nyo kung ma-involve ninyo diha. Ikatulo, kaoban matantanan, ganuha mo ko'y labot. Get my point? That's why, please, before I will decide to get out, please, give decency, give courtesy, because that's not good. CCMC, para makaiba mo before I will adjourn. Ano di mo makaibundong ha? Excuse me, gentlemen, CCMC, panahon pang tumas, mamugos yung ko niyang muapil ko, di yung ko paapilon. Hantod nga naka-apil ako, kay nasakit man siya. So ingon na siya na ko, hala, gusto mo yung kag muapil CCMC. Ikaw na'y bahala CCMC. Ngayon, nibalik man si Tamas. Nibalik magikas Amerika. So ang ending coach, out na sa ko until I really was involved at CCMC. And when was that? Muna nga, klaro-klaro kita, in heart, in mind, Ibon, Joey, Chairman, and all of you, the Rama, from the time CCMC was built, it was a Rama, and that was Osmundo Rama. And all the councilors ng Rama have been a part of CCMC. George Rama, Clemente Rama, including my father, Fernando Rama. Now I became a councilor, then Edo Rama, then I became vice mayor, then ended up the mayor. And that's why, please, if you're talking about my attachment to CCMC, I can tell you the story of CCMC from the time it was known as City Was, and that was 1992. But this is not the time to let you know my attachment and the Rama attachment to CCMC. And right now, I am the chairman of the Committee on Health. For God's sake, what's my role? Are you listening? Are we part? Are we really kauban tantanan din eh? So anyway, maybe the motion is 5 o'clock. Might not be adjourned.
Mr. Chairman, next session. online.